we will just spray, and you'll see a little bit of it come out. And this is going to run it all the way down the cable. I got a feeling that that battery is going to be no good. Get this up so I get a better angle on that. And we're going to move the housing all the way back. And I'm going to have to go get on the internet because I don't remember if it was in the first one or the second one. Wow, how many mechanics have been through this? That's embarrassing. We got some battery issues. Okay, so the quad build has to go on. Kind of excited here. What we're going to do today is I'm going to actually get the throttle cable, the old one off and hooked up to the carburetor, and then we're actually going to hook up the gas tank and get fuel to the carburetor and see if I can get this thing to run. I've got the battery charger on it right now. The battery's completely dead. I tried to turn it over, it went bzz, bzz, bzz. I don't know what's causing bzz, bzz, bzz. You know, I did forget that Polaris has a thing that if you're inside this, the thumb throttle, if the wire is touching, it won't start. So we'll go ahead and get this set up and get going here, but just give me some time on this. I have a new camera set up, and actually I'm looking at a screen right now that I have a screen to see myself on the camera. I also got a different wide angle lens, and I also got a microphone that, I'll be honest with you, I don't even know if I turned it on. And it is on, and I also got a new tripod and a new piece to move the camera so I can try to get some more angles on doing these videos. I've had a couple of comments about I can't see what you're doing. So yeah, having this screen, oh my God, I can see myself on the camera as it's recording now. I actually record with a camcorder, and it just has a little 2.5-inch screen. Half the time I can't see what I'm recording, so hopefully this will help me out. And this, you know, I spent a little bit of money before taxes for my business, so we'll get this all written off on taxes, and we'll get this carburetor hooked up. Hopefully this battery's good. It may not be good because I need to actually prime the engine and crank the engine over, because this ATV has sat so long. I need to get oil to the top end before I try to start this. So we'll go ahead and get everything hooked up here and see if this thing's going to start. Battery. Okay, so what we're going to do here is going to remove this cap. I don't know if I can get this off without. There we go. I've got a feeling I'm going to have to buy a new battery. I'm not for sure what this even looks like in here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to remove this throttle cable. I'm not 100% sure where, oh well, I better make sure and see where it's running. We're just going to give it a little more slack. What we're going to do is we're going to pull this cable out, and we're going to go to the end that goes to the carburetor, and we're going to give it a little more slack up into the throttle, and then we'll be able to pull the cable out of the housing here. Well, we should be able to. Might have to get a set of pliers. 'Cause, 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 'c need to make sure that the cable is run the same here. I'm not for sure. I think what you want to do is you'll want to twist this plastic piece, I think, to the right, and it should come out of the housing because it locks in. And it's not wanting to come out of there. Okay, it's been gunged up. So when you put this in with this tab here, what's going to happen is you're going to slide this into the housing, and then to lock it in place, you're going to turn it to the left, and it's going to lock this and keep this. I really don't like this design. And what we're going to do now, before we pull this throttle cable off, we're going to go get the other one, and we're going to run it down the ATV just how this one was run. So we have our new cable here, and this is all balls. If you're going to do this, I'll put a link, if I have an Amazon link, to this cable here. Make sure it's right, but we're going to want to actually lube this cable up a little bit. And this is called a cable luber. What this is you put this on the cable, and we'll actually go on this side here. A lot of times you don't necessarily need this cable luber. You could just spray lube down into it, but I want to go ahead and, well, maybe. And what you do is you just clamp your cable down in there. And what we'll do is we will just spray, and you'll see a little bit of it come out. And this is going to run it all the way down the cable. It don't take much. Then we'll undo our line here, and then our cable is now lubed from the top to the bottom. And that'll keep it from ever bounding up, especially if you get into water. So this little tool, it's a neat little tool. It's only a couple dollars. Throw up a link below if I can find one. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to install our new cable here. We're just going to put our wire, throttle cable wire, through first, and we're going to go ahead and connect to the thumb throttle, and then we're going to get our plastic piece here. And remember, it's going to only go in one way, so it needs to, oh, I see what my problem was. My problem was I got my master cylinder too close to the unit here. And it's very apparent with the other design piece here. So I'm actually going to have to loosen that. So I'm going to have to remove at least loosen the master cylinder. Get it out of the way here. Move it down. Then we will lock our unit in, our cable into the housing here. And we're now locked in. So we'll go ahead and move our master cylinder back up. To where it needs to be. And go ahead and tighten it so we don't have to come back and do it again. Okay. Now with the old cable still here, what we're going to do is it ran up underneath of here, so we're just going to follow this cable through the frame and come out right where it needs to be. Actually, we got for the adjuster piece, it moved on the wire. Like so. And now we will remove our old cable. So go ahead and keep these old cables. You never know if you might snap one. I just got a feeling that battery, I got a feeling that battery's gonna be no good. Get this up so I get a better angle on that carburetor. Now we actually need to remove two of the bolts that are keeping the cover on here. And that's why they put the holes in the frames here, so you can actually access it. There's one. Let's go to number 2. I didn't even know that this has a vent tube on it. So I don't know, might have to try to get you a little better angle here. I don't even know if you can see that. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna run our throttle cable right up here, and we're just gonna place our throttle cable within the housing of the wheel here. That's to open the slide on the carburetor. So we're just gonna run our cable in. Through the bottom. Actually goes through the bottom. I didn't think it went through the bottom. It sure does. So what you need to do here, I don't know if I can get in here. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get an angle in here. Crap. So when we reattach our carburetor here, there's 2 nuts on your line. I would run the nut this way, all the way forward, and get it in the housing of the carburetor like so. I don't know if you can really see that, but this front nut is all the way forward there. And then what we're going to do is you're going to take your hand and we're going to move the housing all the way back. And I'm going to have to go get on the internet because I don't remember if it was in the first one or the second one. This is set up for a motocross bike, which would have a twist throttle and not a thumb throttle. I would imagine that this came out of percent sure. And then run it. So I put it in the first hole. I will recheck the video and then we'll tighten this up. We'll be able to adjust this cable. I'm gonna have to go up here to the top of the throttle and we'll be able to adjust it from there, but that's completely closed. So we'll have to open it up with the adjuster on the line itself. Okay, so I've got my gas tank here. One little thing though is the vent is supposed to go down the steering stem. If you flood out your bike or whatnot and you can't get it to start and it's not electrical and all this and that, you might have got water down in the steering stem. If the vent can't breathe, then it won't allow the air to go into the gas tank to get to the carburetor. So just check that out if that ever happens to you. We'll go ahead and put our bolts back in. We're not going to tighten them up. I'm not for sure that this is going to stay on for too long. But we need to go ahead and get our gas line ready and run new gas line. So everything looks good there. And this is why I switched from the Harbor Freight lift. Nothing wrong with the Harbor Freight lift. It's just not for ATVs. It's more for motorcycles. And lifting this up is pretty important when you don't want to bend over all the time. Go up one more. Wow, this thing actually looks like it's coming together with this on here. Now I haven't officially got all the pieces in for my new setup here, but this camera, I can now scroll it to where I need it, and then I could just twist it to adjust it. So it's so much easier. I just need a few more things here, but there's our line there, and we need to run from here to here. So we'll go ahead and get our gas line cut. So what we have is I've got some new gas line. We'll go ahead and I think this is the size I'm gonna need to go over the petcock. So we'll go ahead and plug into the petcock. We'll actually go around more than likely. I don't think that fuel line was run up by that cylinder head. Okay, I don't believe that's going to leak. I'll go ahead and take a picture of that. So, man, I don't know if it run around that or not. It must have went around this radiator hose. Right up against that cylinder head, it's hard to believe, but I think that's how it was. And there's going to be a lot of heat there. And this is all that was on there for the gas hose, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut. Oh, buddy, this won't even cut that line. Oh my God. I'm gonna have to get some new dikes. Wow, how many mechanics have been through this? That's fucking, that's embarrassing. Okay. So we'll go ahead and put our fuel filter. All right, that's the right size. Put our fuel filter on. Then we'll go ahead and put our other line on here. Then I need to cut this. Believe it or not, on my my radiator kits that I'm building, now that I can get Polaris parts, I looked up the overflow tube for that radiator because I wanted to get my own lines, and Polaris has it from the manual that the overflows line is just fuel line, and that goes against everything I know, because that fuel line can't take 200 something degree heat. I mean, I find that kind of crazy that they just want to sell you fuel line, but I guess that radiator just uses fuel line. So for those kits, I have some extra 3-ply hose. I'm not for sure what I'm going to do, if I'm going to keep the 3-ply hose and run it on the radiator, or if I'm going to get some Polaris fuel line. It's hard to believe that overflow runs on fuel line. Okay, so I'm actually going to turn the fuel on a little bit and make sure we're going to get flow out of it, so we don't get air locked here. And it's flowing. I don't know how much gas I have in that gas tank. I'll tell you another thing, I don't know how much. Look, it's got an air bubble in it. That air bubble needs to come out of there, out of that fuel filter. It needs to go up the line. Oh, that ain't no good. Look at that. You can't see it, but crap. Now we'll attempt to get this on there. Okay. Got gas everywhere. and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and lock in the throttle cable onto the carburetor. What you want to do is the part with the nut on the inside, you're going to want to hold it in with your thumb, and then on the outside of the carburetor, we're just going to tighten that nut up. And this would have been a little bit easier if I would have done it while the gas tank was off of it. We might have to loosen the gas tank, but it's pretty tight here. There we go. Doesn't take very much. Okay. I'm actually going to put this cover back on, and we'll be able to adjust the carburetor through the throttle cable and the adjuster on the other side where the choke is. Go ahead and get the bottom one and put in. Then come back and snug the top one in. Definitely don't want any dirt getting in there. Well, we got everything hooked up. It's just a matter of getting that battery charged. I spilled a little more gas than I wanted. I think I've got everything set up. We'll go ahead up here on the throttle cable. We're just going to leave it set, and I'm going to go ahead and tighten it up. And then I will adjust this and open this up a little bit with the adjuster on the carburetor. Well, see if it's gonna fire on. It's the battery. I'm gonna have to let it charge, guys. Well, this might be it, this may not. I might come back tomorrow or something and let the battery charge and see if it'll start. Okay, so pretty much it's been about 4 hours here. The battery looks like it's been charged. The one thing is with this battery charger, it only charges at 2 amps because of the small battery. And see if this thing starts. This thing ain't been started in about a year. So before I left to go get something to eat, I actually drained the battery and tried to prime the system a little bit. So this four-wheeler had a manual choke. Got the choke on, got the gas on, got a charged battery. See if this thing starts. Ridiculous. Starts right up. Just gonna let it run for a while. It's about 30 degrees. see the smoke, but we've got a problem here with the header wrap is smoking. So I have to get the idle set on this thing to see if I can get it to run with it not on choke. Well, there you have it. It officially runs. Battery's no good. It completely, once that fan kicked on, that battery went almost dead. It has completely drained that battery. So what I'll do is have to buy a new battery. So